Hey folks, Malforian here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing the Intrigue Lifestyle in our kind of review focus on the 5 lifestyles in Crusader Kings 3. We've done Diplomacy, Martial, and Stewardship already. I'll put a link to the playlist down below if this is the first one that you've encountered. We're just talking about them, kind of what's good, what's bad, where I generally use them, and then kind of any suggestions we've got of where we might see improvements in the future as we wait for, like I say, some new content in the game coming in the next year. And yeah, leave comments down below, guys, if you have, scenarios where you use these. Maybe I'm missing where some of them are really good, or, maybe maybe there's a situation where you haven't realized, and as we're talking today, you might realize, oh, that was a good way of using that I hadn't thought of. So anyway, we're going to get straight into it. So as always, we're going to cover the focuses first. So Skullduggery focused, yeah, gives you plus 10 agent acceptance, plus 3 intrigue. Temptation focus gives you plus 20% fertility, plus 10 attraction, plus 20% seduction scheme power, and then intimidation focus gives you plus 2 intrigue and plus 30 natural dread. That's a lot of dread. That's a lot of dread. What I will say off the bat is, if you've watched my channel at all with Crusader Kings, you'll know I don't really like intrigue in the game. I never really use it. There are situations where I have used it, where it's really good, especially for trying to get, maybe murdering people to get a claimant onto a throne or something like that. But, so my biases may show in this video compared to the other ones. And there probably is definitely areas where I missed that you could use it. But yeah, I just want to say that up front. I don't really like intrigue in the game, but we'll just get to it and we can see what we talk about today. So anyway, yeah, going back to these, I think, to be honest, intimidation focus is probably the one I use the most if I do have an intrigue character, just because that plus 30 natural dread is just so good for keeping, your vassals in line rather than the other ones. I think attraction and fertility, if you're playing a character that, is doing a lot of romancing and stuff, is actually obviously really, really good. But and then Skullduggery, I guess if you are doing a lot of schemes, it is good as well. So I suppose actually, at least in this tree, the 3 focuses are really good in the areas they're focused on. As we discussed under Stewardship, I think a lot of these are kind of meh. They're kind of focused on the 3 trees, but they're not really that good. Whereas Intrigue, I will say, at least they are focused. If you are a schemer, this plus 10 agent acceptance is really good. And obviously the intrigue bonus is good anyway. If you are playing a seducer, these are really good bonuses for seducing. If you are a torturer, these are really good bonuses for being a torturer. So I guess, or at least fits in. If you're a torturer character, you are going to have that natural dread. People are going to be scared of you. So I actually do like the focuses themselves and what they do. I think I generally take the bottom one just for the natural dread. It's just so good. And then you don't really have to go down the torture tree, obviously. You can do intimidation focus and just do one of the other trees. You don't have to match it with the tree it's kind of matched with. So anyway, we'll get to it. So the schema tree, truth is relative. As I discussed in the last video with Stewardship, this is really OP if you also put a point into golden obligations, just in case you didn't watch the previous video, because you can basically make up some lies, you can make up some schemes, fabricate a hook, and then sell it for 50 gold. So the 2 combined are really, really OP. They're really, really good. If you've never noticed that before or you're just unaware, it is a really good combination. And then digging for dirt, find secret progress speed plus 25%. This is quite good, I suppose. There are some decisions. I think in the Habsburg campaign that we did on the channel, we needed a strong hook. Yes, we needed a strong hook on our liege to make the Archduchy of Austria. So that is when Intrigue was obviously really, really good, because there was no other way. Well, there are other ways to get strong hooks, but it's really difficult. Whereas at least with intimidation, with Intrigue Lifestyle, it is a bit easier to get hooks. So anyway, this just makes them obviously quicker. You can find secrets in other realms, which you can use, like I say, across the game for other things, but generally you're kind of trying to do something specific. Enables the abduct scheme, so you can obviously abduct people. Court of Shadows, plus 50% effectiveness, disrupt schemes. If you're a character that people are going to dislike, is quite good, because disrupts their schemes trying to kill you or doing other things. Enemy hostile scheme success chance minus 25%, and then against your courtiers is also minus 10. So, less chance of doing bad things to you, and then also your courtiers. Swift execution, murder scheme power plus 30%. Can't complain about that. A job done right. Hostile scheme success chance plus 25%. So if you take all of these, you're going to be doing a lot of schemes, and you're going to be pretty successful at doing those schemes. So, that is what a schemer does. So kind of nice, fits in quite well. Twice schemed, you can have 2 hostile schemes going at the same time. So again, if you're playing that character that wants to, murder your way to a throne or just do some shenanigans with killing people. Scheme is just so good for it. I'm not going to say it's a bad tree. It is a really good tree. I just don't generally play Intrigue characters, but if you do play them, it is really, really good. And then +5 Intrigue and +25% hostile scheme power. Again, it just makes your schemes better and better and better. And obviously it helps combat them as well. So Scheme is a fantastic tree, if I'm being honest, if you do like doing Intrigue. And then Seducer. I'm going to be honest, guys, I don't think I've ever gone down the Seducer tree, ever. in what, 2 years of Crusader Kings? I literally cannot remember ever willingly going down this tree. I do take characters, I know I say this every video at the moment in this series, I do play characters as I get them, and I don't respec them. So I have had characters that were Seducer focused, so I have been down this tree, but not willingly. I've never chosen to go down this tree. But anyway, let's get on to the tree itself. Like weeds in a garden, +30% fertility. So if you have that plus the 20, that's 50% more fertility. That's a lot. You're going to be having a lot of children if you did want that for some reason. Unshackled Lust removes your attraction penalties in seduce schemes. So yeah, if you have, I guess this is if you have like gout or if you're sick or any other of those attraction modifiers, this gets rid of them, which is actually pretty good if you're like an ugly character, I guess, and you're trying to marry up. You're going to have more success doing that. Removes the rank difference penalty for the seduce schemes. Reduce the incestuous penalty for your seduce schemes targeting children over the age of 19. So again, if you're playing the meme Crusader King campaign, this helps you a lot. Mortal adoration. Your lovers are less likely to join murder schemes against you. Lovers are more likely to save you in a case of attempted murder. There's actually an achievement for that as well, where you have to have your lover die trying to save you or something like that. This is actually quite good for specifically going for that achievement. But yeah, if you have a lot of lovers, you're kind of protected from other intrigue things because they will kind of take the bullet for you, as they say. A seduce scheme power +30%, not too bad. Home advantage, seduce scheme chance against your own courtiers and guests +50%. Graceful recovery, you no longer critically fail seduce schemes, which again is quite good because you don't get those modifiers for failing it critically. Smooth operator, seduce scheme chance +25. You can learn one additional language without any penalties. As I've said with the other trees, they kind of just threw a language one into each tree. Like, I guess. I guess that's good. Seducer is the cap thing, and that gives you +3 intrigue, +20% fertility. So you've got, what, 70% fertility bonus just from this tree? And if you do temptation focus, and +40 attraction opinion. It all fits quite well. It's all on theme. Seducer does all these things. I just don't really know when you use seduction that much in the game, unless you're role-playing. I think you can do the things you can get from that, you can do 300% easier by just being martial-focused or something, or diplomacy-focused, and that you get other bonuses for doing that. But again, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'm missing something super obvious, but yeah, it does well at what it does. I just don't ever do it myself. And then Torturer. This one is actually quite a fun tree to go down. When the torture someone, you get a 50% chance to either gain intrigue or prowess. Divine Retribution, you do not pay piety or clergy opinion for torturing or executing others. If you do want to, be torturing and executing people, especially because executing, although I guess you already negate the modifiers anyway, because what is it, like Norse characters, you gain piety from executing non-believers? I guess you already don't get a clergy opinion modifier from that anyway. But anyway, it's quite good. Dreadful, dread gain +30%. Pretty good. Obviously, if you're people are scared of you, if you've got high dread, they're less likely to join factions and stuff against you. Martial per stress +4, intrigue +4, and prowess +6. If you've got a level 3 stress character, your stats are insane. You're obviously also going to die pretty quickly from being overstressed. But if you can manage to survive, you have insane. Because what? There's 3 levels of stress. So you can have 12 extra martial, 12 extra intrigue, and 18 more prowess. So this is a cool one because this does tie into martial as well as being obviously intrigue focused. So you can have insane prowess. You're like thriving in chaos, as it says. You're like, I'm so stressed out, I'm so good at fighting. And because obviously if you're doing prowess, you've probably got some okay prowess anyway, but yeah, you could have insane levels of prowess doing this. Malice Implicit, dread gain per tyranny +5, 0.5. I generally don't have tyranny, but if you do have tyranny, it makes your dread even better. Fear tax, if they're intimidated or terrified, your vassals give you more stuff. Obviously, if you're going down torture, they're probably going to be high dread. just from this, and then the natural, this is natural 30, so this will give you probably at least intimidated with most of your vassals, and then this just gives you way more money. So again, this is a cool one where it's in the intrigue tree, but it actually is quite stewardship focused in a way. Gives you similar bonuses to you would get from stewardship, but in a different tree, which, as I said in the previous ones, I actually quite like that it works like that. It's not just solely intrigue focused. And then dread decay minus 1000%. Never decays basically your dreads. You get like max dread. You don't have to worry about continuously topping it up. It just stays at maximum or whatever level you get to. And then prison chance plus 50%. You can obviously imprison people a lot easier. And then torture itself. This gives you plus 4 prowess, plus 50% dread gain. If you haven't already maxed out your dread by this point, you get even more. Which actually, come to think about it, it's kind of wild it is plus 50 this late in the tree, because I guess it has to be this late in the tree because otherwise it's too good. But also, by the time you get to this point in the tree, you're probably pretty high dread, to be honest. If you played the character with all the rest of these, it's very unlikely you're not going to be very high dread already, but anyway, it does give you that chance to increase it. I always think this one should be switched, like natural dread decay should move into torture, and the plus 50 should move into forever infamous kind of thing. Well, this obviously have to be renamed because it's kind of based on the fact that you never lose dread. But I guess then it's too much like dreadful, because it's basically just a better version of this. Anyway, I mean, it's good anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Hostile scheme resistance plus 25%. You don't have to be down schemer. You get a nice bonus for, protecting yourself. And then levy size plus 10%. Again, just a nice one that can help you with martial, because it increases your levy by 10%. So again, it's one down intrigue, but it does help you in other areas of the game if you don't generally play the intrigue game, but you are an intrigue character. It does help you in other areas, which is nice. And yeah, that is the intrigue tree. It's probably the shortest video of the 5. Again, because I just generally don't play intrigue characters, so I can't give as much feedback really on what I like or dislike. I'd say overall, the trees do what they say. Like I said, they are very focused on their niche. So schemer is just awesome at scheming. Seducer is just awesome at seducing people and things like that. And torturer is all about obviously torturing people and then affecting the bonuses or negatives that you get for doing that anyway in the game. And then it does have some nice stewardship and martial kind of perks as well. So yeah, it's not too bad actually. Torture as well. Actually, like I say, I think torture is the one I probably go down the most if I do play one. I'll probably always put a point into truth is relative. It's just so good. Like there'd be no reason not to do it, because you could just sell hooks like so. And you get a lot of hooks in the game, and you could just sell them and just make money constantly, basically, by doing that. So I'd always put a point into truth is relative, and then do whatever you want. But I'd probably go down torture the most, especially if you do a lot of raiding. I think torture is quite fun if you do a lot of raiding, because then you can torture people, get a lot of dread from that, get a lot of intrigue or prowess, and you get all the other bonuses. You get more money on levies, which obviously help you then go on more wars and things like that. So I think torture is kind of cool one anyway. But if there's any improvements, again, let me know. Like I said, I don't generally play intrigue characters, so I can't really think of any that would super fit. So we're going to leave that bit for this video. Hit the like if you're new here. I've covered the other trees so far, diplomacy, martial, and stewardship. We'll be doing learning next. And I play Crusader Kings and other grand strategy games on the channel. So hit subscribe if you want to watch that. We'll leave it there for today, and I'll see you in the next one.